Today we're down to the final four. It's round 7 of the 2024 recent vice president spinner battle. Last time we had to say goodbye to the last Democrat, that was Biden. And we've got Rockefeller, Bush, Quayle, and Cheney. One of these four is going to win it all, but today the spinner is going to prevent one of them from getting to the semifinals. So as always, I enjoy most of the comments, and hopefully your pick makes it to the next round. And I'm ready to see what happens, so let's get into the action. We're going to start in Alaska. That has 3 electoral votes. Here comes spin 1, and that is number 1, and that's going to be Rockefeller. He's getting us started. Let's go to Hawaii. We've got 4 more votes, and we've got a 3. That is going to be Dan Quayle. Next, we go up to Washington, 12 electoral votes. That is a 2. That's going to go to Bush. Next, Oregon, 8 electoral votes. Here's the spin. Number 3, that's going to be Quayle, the first one with multiple states. Next is California, 54 votes. This is going to be a huge boost for somebody. Let's find out who it is. Number 2, that's going to be Bush. The next state is Nevada. They've got 6. Here's the spin. Number 1, Rockefeller picking up state number 2. Next, it's Idaho, 4 votes. Kind of a weak spin, but that's number 1. Another one for Rockefeller. Utah is next. 6 more votes here, and we've got number 3. That's going to be Quayle. Arizona is next. 11 votes. Number 3, Quayle. 2 states in a row. Let's go to Montana. 4 votes. We've got number 3. That's going to be 3 straight for Quayle. Next is Wyoming. They've got 3 electoral votes. This is Dick Cheney's home state, and he's the only one yet to do any damage here in round 7. This would be the perfect time to get it started. Let's see what happens. Big spin. And look at that. Number 4 comes up for Dick Cheney on his home state. Let's see if he gets any momentum out of it. Let's go to Colorado. 10 more votes. And that is number 4, Cheney, back to back. Let's do New Mexico, 5 votes. Land of Enchantment. Number 1, Rockefeller. Now we've got the Dakotas. Here comes North. That's the Peace Garden state, and that is over the line for number 4, Dick Cheney. How about South Dakota? Let's do it. We've got 3. That's going to go to Quayle. Nebraska at large. That's the next spin. 2 electoral votes. Number 1, Nelson Rockefeller. How about Nebraska's 1st congressional district? That's another one for Rockefeller. How about Nebraska's 2nd? 1 more electoral vote coming to number 3, Dan Quayle. Finally, Nebraska's 3rd congressional district. That is going to go to number 4, Dick Cheney. Next, Kansas, 6 EVs. The Sunflower State is going to go to number 3, Dan Quayle. Oklahoma's next, lucky 7. Who's going to get him? That is close to the line, but it's going to go to Quayle. Next, it's Texas, 40 votes. Bush has a connection to this state, but right now it's Rockefeller and Cheney in the bottom 2. Let's do the spin. Here it is. Who's going to get him? Number 3, that's going to go to Quayle. 3 straight again for Quayle, and he's at 90. Next, Minnesota is the next spin. 10 more votes. And we're going to give those to number 4. That's going to go to Cheney. Now, Cheney is ahead of Rockefeller. Let's go to Iowa. 6 EVs. That's a 3. That's going to Quayle. Next, Missouri, the Show Me State. We're going to show 10 electoral votes to number 2, George Bush. Arkansas is next. The natural state has 6 votes. And that's again going to go to Bush. Louisiana is next, down in the Gulf. 8 votes at stake. Number 4, Cheney. Next, Wisconsin, 10 EVs. Those are going to go to number 1, Nelson Rockefeller. Next, Illinois, 19 votes. Here's the spin. Number 3, Quayle goes over 100. Michigan is next. Another 15 on the table. Coming to Dick Cheney, number 4. Indiana's next, Quayle's home state. Here's the spin, 11 votes. And those are going to go to Rockefeller. So Rockefeller with another 11. Kentucky is next, 8 electoral votes. And the spinner says number 3. That's going to go back toward Quayle. Tennessee is next. The volunteer state, 11 votes. Another one for Dan Quayle, number 3. Quayle now surging ahead of the pack. Let's do Mississippi. 6 votes in the Deep South. Again, coming to number 3, Dan Quayle. Quayle with 3 in a row for the 3rd time in this round. Let's go next door to Alabama. 9 EVs. And that's a 1, and that's going to go to Rockefeller. That puts him 1 ahead of Cheney. Let's do Florida, 30 votes. Huge spin. Who's going to get him? That's going to be George Herbert Walker Bush, number 2. Georgia is next. The Peach State has 16. That's a good chunk of votes. Also, coming to Bush, number 2. Next, we've got South Carolina. Here's the spin. Number 4, Cheney passes Rockefeller. Let's do North Carolina, 16. And that is close to the line again, but that's going to go to number 2, Bush. Right now, it looks like we've got George H.W. Bush and Dan Quayle, who are actually on the same ticket as president and vice president. They're duking it out for the top spot. And on the complete other end, we've got Rockefeller and Cheney fighting for survival on the bottom. Anything could change at any time. Let's go up to Ohio. 17 votes. Here's the spin. That's a 1, and that's going to go to Rockefeller. Now Cheney back on the bottom. West Virginia is next. Here's the spin. 4 votes. And we're going to give those to number 3, Dan Quayle. Now we go all the way to the northeast corner. Maine at large has 2 electoral votes. And that is a 3, and that's going to go again to Quayle. Next, Maine's 1st congressional district. 1 EV. That's going to go to Rockefeller. Next, Maine's 2nd. 1 more vote for Maine, and that's going to go to number 2, Bush. Next, New Hampshire. That's next door, and they've got 4 votes. That's a 3, and that's going to go to Quayle. Next, Vermont. 3 votes here, and those are going to be snagged by number 2, Bush. New York is next. Again, Rockefeller was governor here. Cheney trails by 10. This could be a consequential spin. Let's do it. Who's going to get him? That is Dick Cheney, number 4. You can't count Cheney out yet. Now Rockefeller is on the bottom by 18. Let's do Massachusetts, 11 votes. Here's the spin in the Bay State. That's a 2, and that is going to go to Bush, and that puts Bush ahead of his VP Quayle. Let's go to Connecticut now. Another lucky 7 here. We've got a 4, and that's going to go to Cheney. So now Rockefeller falls even further behind. Let's do Rhode Island. 4 electoral votes. That's going to go to Bush, number 2. The Garden State, New Jersey is next. Here it is. That's a 1. Rockefeller, he's not done yet. He's getting 14 more. Next, we've got Delaware. 3 electoral votes. Let's see who's going to claim them. Here's the spin. And Cheney, number 4. He's going to get 3 more. He's ahead by 14. Let's do Maryland. 10 more votes on the table. Who's going to take them? That is on the line for number 2, George Bush. Next, Washington, D.C. 3 EVs in this spin. And that is number 4. That's going to go to Cheney. That puts him at an even 100. So it looks like Rockefeller is trailing by 17. That means he has to win this spin of Pennsylvania or he's going to be done. If he does, that's going to put the pressure on Cheney. So if it's not a 1, Rockefeller is going to be going home. Let's do the spin. Here it is. And look at that. Number 1. Rockefeller puts up 19 more. And now he's ahead of Cheney by 2, and we've got only 1 spin left. That is Virginia. So it all comes down to this. Can Cheney put up a 4 and send Rockefeller packing? Or is Rockefeller going to have the last laugh and kick Cheney to the curb? Final spin. Can Cheney pull out a 4? Here it is. Not quite. That is another number 1. Rockefeller finishes really strong, picks up Virginia, And that means Dick Cheney is calling it quits after 7 rounds. But the winner is George H.W. Bush with another stellar performance of 173. His running mate Dan Quayle also strong with 150. Nelson Rockefeller with his back against the wall pulls it out. He finishes in third with 115. And Dick Cheney, who a lot of people might consider to be the villain here, he finishes also in triple digits, but he was unable to seal the deal with 2 spins left. That means we've got our semifinals, Rockefeller, Bush, and Quayle. That should be next week, but in the meantime, take a look at this map. Quayle and Bush really seem to win most of these states. Good battle for the top as well as some great suspense for the bottom. That's what we like to see, so let me know in the comments, what did you think of round 7? Were you hoping Cheney was going to pull it out in the end, or are you glad to see Rockefeller move it on? Which of these 3 is going to win it all? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.